My name is Srinivas. I am working as assistant professor in IARE college. The last session we have seen the DBMS MCQ 1. In this session, we'll concentrate on MCQ 2. Okay, getting started. Which of the following command is a type of data definition language command? So, which is a type of data definition language? In the data definition language, it is DDL, right? DDL we have create, alter, drop. So these are the three commands. Drop. Okay. Here we have 4 options here: create, update, delete, and merge. Okay. We have 4 options here: create, update, delete, and merge. So we know that DDL is in that we have create command. So answer A is the right answer. Okay, answer A, explanation. The data definition language is generally used to maintain or define the structure of the database. For example, creating a table, dropping the table, altering the table. In short, we can say that the command of data definition language is used to work on the table schemas inside the databases. So in the DDL we have create, update, we have create, delete, create, drop, and alter. These are the the right answer would be A. Now next question: which of the following is a top-down approach in which the entities higher level can be divided into 2 lower sub-entities? So we have some hierarchies here. So here, which of is the top-down approach in which the entities higher level can be divided into 2 lower entities? Okay, and the options given here are the aggregation, the generalization, specialization, all the above. So the right answer would be here C. We'll see why it is C. It is the specialization. The term specialization is the drop-down approach is used, and it is possible. It is opposite to the generalization. See, specialization is a top-down approach, and it is opposite to the generalization. Opposite spelling is wrong here. We'll correct the spelling here. Generalization. In the specialization, the higher level entities can be divided into sub-lower entities. In the specialization, we can divide the higher level entity into lower entities. It is generally used for identifying a subset of an entity set which shares the distinguished characteristics. Okay, it is generally used for identifying the subset of an entity set which share the distinguished characteristics. Example, to understand more example, we'll consider example. Suppose you have an entity called a vehicle. So vehicle is an entity. So through the specialization, you can divide further into sub entities like two-wheeler, four-wheeler, etc. So the right answer is C. So we know that. So here what would we learn is here that specialization is a top-down approach in which the higher level entity can be subdivided into lower entities. And we have seen an example called here. A vehicle is an entity set, and it can be further be divided into sub entity sets. For example, a two-wheeler is one subset, and a four-wheeler is one subset. Okay, now next 27th question. In which one of the following multiple lower entities are grouped or combined together to form a higher level entity? Okay, in the last example, we have discussed that specialization is breaking the higher entity into small entities. Now this question is what is that keyword that a multi-level lower entities are grouped to form the thing. So we have seen that specialization opposite is the generalization. So the answer is B. So in the specialization is top-down approach where we divide the higher level entity into smaller sets. Now here it is just opposite. It is B. The top or bottom up approach is used in the generalization. The several lower level subentities are grouped together to make an individual higher entity. In short, we can say that it is totally opposite of the specialization. To understand it more clearly, consider the following example. Suppose you have several lower entities like bus, car, motorbikes, and etc. So, in order to make it more generalized or higher level entity, you can combine this. You can combine this into a higher level entity called as vehicle. In the last example, we have divided vehicle into two types, that is two wheeler and four wheeler. This is specialization. In the reverse case, we are combining these two to form into a vehicle entity set, that is generalization. That is a generalization. Okay, that was the 27th question. Now 28th question. In a relation database, every tuples, what is tuple? Every row is divided into fields known as. So we know tuple is a row in your database. Suppose you have 10 records, then you have 10 tuples. So in a relational database, every tuple divided into fields are known as queries, domains, relations, all of them. Okay, we know that it is not a query. It is not a query, and we also know that it is not a relation. So here option left are D and B, and we go with option D, B called as domains. Explanation: in a database, the number of rows inside a table are called as tuples. Further, if you divide those tuples or rows into those fields, they become the domain. So the right answer is B. So queries means we write query to get the output. The relations are like foreign key relations. Domains is if the rows can be further be divided based upon into fields, then it is a domain, like a number domain, name domain, email domain. That's all in the domain fields. The term TCL stands for, what is TCL? Is it? Now option A is ternary control language, transmission control language, transaction central language, or transaction control language. We use this TCL in the transaction control language. Okay, transaction language is TCL means stands in the DBMS means it is transaction control language. Explanation: the term TCL refers to the transaction control language, which is another language just like the DDL and the DML. We remember at a high level we talked about DDL, DML, data query language. Data query we also see in TCL, and TCL is transaction control language, and also have data query language you have seen. So the commands like commit, save point, rollback comes under the TCL command used to control the transaction. So the right answer is D. So transaction control language. So when what is the transaction? A group of statements executed simultaneously or sequentially. So in that we have options like saving. Saving means committing the database, or we can save point to at some point, or we can undo the changes, rollback. So all this will be a part of transaction. It is there. We have to start begin transaction, commit transaction. Okay, begin and commit transactions. Okay, and for every transaction we can have a name also, transaction name. So the right answer is D. Now the next slide, please. Next question. In a relational table, which of the following can be represented by an attribute? In a relational table, which one of the following can be attribute? What is an attribute? It is a column. So attribute is a column, a row is a tuple. So the options are entity, we have row, we have column, both B and C. So it cannot be entity. It can entity will have n number of attributes. So it cannot be row. So the answer is column. So in the database, explanation in the database. The number of rows inside the table is called as a tuple, and the number of columns are called as attributes. And attributes will further be will be linked to the entity. Okay, entity. So the right answer is C. So tuple is each row, each column is an attribute. All these attributes will form a entity set. Entity. So that is the 30th question. Next slide, please. 31. Which of the following refers to the number of attributes in a relation? Which of the columns refer to the degree of the attributes in a relation? Okay. We have a degree, we have row, we have column, and we have all of the above. 4 options we have. Okay. We know what is a row. Row is nothing but a data record. Column, it is an attribute. So we left with the answer degree and all of those. So it cannot be column, it cannot do it. It should be degree. So the explanation, the answer is A. The column inside the table is called attribute, and the total number of attributes inside the table is called a degree. The total number of attributes in a table is called a degree. So therefore we can see degree refers to the number of attributes in a relation. Therefore the right answer is C. So the right answer is C. Right answer is C. It is the number of attributes in a relation is a degree. The degree. Now next slide, next question. Which of the following is used in the application program to request data from the database? So you have some front end web page, or you have a Java program or a Python program, and your data is there in a different thing. Now if you want to write some code to application program to get request from the database, which is the language used? Is it data manipulation language? It is data definition language, or it is data control language, or all of the above? It cannot be data definition language, because this is going to define structure, that is create, drop, and alter. It cannot be data control language, because here in the data control language we give some roles and permissions. So the answers have to be data manipulation language. The data manipulation language, we can insert, we can update, or we can delete records. Update, sorry, and insert. So the explanation, the answer A. To fetch data from the database system, generally a select statement is used. Therefore the data manipulation language is used in the application program while requesting the data from the database system. Okay, so the right answer would be here data manipulation language, also called as DML. Which one of the following commands is used to delete existing rows in a table? So which one of the column is used to delete the existing rows in a table? So we have delete, we have update, we have insert, and none of the above. So it is to delete existing row. It cannot be update, it cannot be insert, nor none of the above. The right answer, all option is A. So explanation, to delete an existing row in a table, generally the delete command is used. The delete command is one of the command used to delete database, and it belongs to DML. So delete is to remove a record from the database. We use the delete command. That this delete can remove one or more records. If you mention the where clause, only that particular condition satisfied records will be deleted. If you don't give the where clause, every record in the table will be deleted. And we can also, to remove all the records, we have the truncate function also available. we also have the truncate function available. So that was the 33 question. 34. Which of the following command is used to save any transaction permanently into the database? So we know that in the transaction control language TCL we have commit, we have rollback, and we also have a command called as save point. Now we have here 4 options here, which are commit, rollback, save point, and none of the above. We need to store permanent into the database. Save means it is permanent is commit. So commit saves permanent database. Save point is that intermediate storing point. So explanation. The transaction control language is used when working with transaction to save any transaction permanently into the database. Generally, the commit command is used by which any changes get reflected permanently in the database and they become irreversible. That means you cannot undo the changes. Once you issue a commit command, you can never get the data back. You cannot undo the database. Which of the following commands is used to remove or deleting a relation from the SQL? Which of the following commands is used to remove or deleting a relation from the SQL database? Delete, drop, remove, or bow. Remove or drop. Okay. Now we have options here. Delete. We have options like delete, drop, remove all of the above. So delete is to drop. Delete is to remove any particular record or set of records based on the condition. So drop is the command to remove the object. Remove is also not a keyword, SQL keyword. And the fourth option is all of the above. So the right answer would be drop. To remove or deleting a relation, the drop command is used instead of insert. Drop command is used to insert because here we are working on the object of the database. So to maintain the object of the database, the data definition language is used. Therefore, in the DDL, we have a drop command. So therefore, the drop command is used to delete a relation from a database by instead of using a delete. So delete will not remove the structure of the database. Still your table remains. But drop will remove the object from the database. That means you can no longer have access to the database, the object. For example, I'll say drop table, student. If I drop this table student, I can never get back this table. But if I say delete from student, my data, my individual records or based on set of records will be removed. But if I drop this, still my table structure remains. I can again insert data into this table. But in this case, I cannot have access to the database, so I cannot insert or I cannot view this database. So that is the drop command. Drop table name. Drop table name. Next we are going to the 36th question. Which one of the following command is used to restore the database to the last committed state? So you are working on a series of steps transaction. You have about 10-15 lines, and in between you got some error. So you want to take it back to the last committed. What was the initial stage before you started this operation? So for that we have options Options we have save point, rollback, commit, and option A and B. So we know what is the save point. Save point is at a saving to a temporary point, and we will have that as a pointer. And rollback is to undo changes. Commit is to permanently save the database. So option fourth option is option A and B. So the right answer would be here. The right answer would be rollback. So once you commit, you cannot undo the changes. You cannot undo. So if you have started a transaction, in the between you say rollback, then your data is taken back to the last state. So explanation would be, as we know that while working with transaction, the transaction control language is used to restore the database to the last committed state or to undo the latest changes. The rollback command is used that belongs to TCL. Okay, rollback is to take back to original state before before making changes. If anything goes wrong, you can say rollback my changes. If you in between, if you use save point, you cannot do. If you use a commit, you can also cannot undo the changes. You cannot undo the changes. Next 37th question. The database management system can be considered as a collection of dash that enables us to create and maintain the database. So the database management system can be considered as a collection of dash is a translator or a program or the keys or the language activity which software that enables us to create and maintain the database. So it is not a translator, it is not a keys, it is not a language activity, it is a program. The database management system can be considered as a set of programs that enable users to create and maintain the database. So DBMS is all about a system which is about creating and maintaining the database. In that we have many programs here. That is set of programs. Collection is called as a DBMS system. Okay. 38th question. What is DFD? DFD in DBMS. Is it data file diagram, or it is a data flow document, or a data flow diagram, or none of the above? The right answer would be data flow diagram. Now, option C. Term DFD means data flow diagram, and it too represents the flow of data. It represents the flow of data or information. The data flow is used. The data flow diagram also helps in understanding how data is managed in the application. Okay. Data flow diagram is data, how your data is flowing from multiple tables or multiple tables. Okay. And this is your data flow diagram will tell you how your data is being manipulated across multiple phases. Okay. Next question. 39th question. Which of the following refers to the collection of information stored in a database at a specific time? Which of the following refers to the collection of the information stored in the database at a specific time? Is it an independence or instance of a database, or a schema, or a data domain? So, is it a data domain? Is it a schema, or an instance of a database, or it is an independence? The right answer is B. The collection of data stored in the database at a particular moment is known as instance of the database. Suppose you have I mean to say that you have a database server, and it has a student called student database. Okay, you use your studio or your program to connect to this database. Means you have now an instance of this database. You have now an instance of this database. Though you're connected to the server, still you have an access to the server. You're working on a instance of the server. So So collection of information stored at database to particular term is the instance. Instance is like you connect to a server, you get a copy of it. That is an instance. Exactly, copy means not you'll get you'll have you do you make some changes here. It will not it will affect the database. That means it is inline thing. You're thinking that you're getting, if you copy the database and store it locally, then it is your local database. But when you connect to the server, you have instance of the database. Any changes you make on the server, on your instance, will be affected on the server. Next, 40, the question, the term SQL. What is the term SQL? Standard query language, sequential query language, structured query language, or it is server-side query language. We know SQL is nothing but structured query language. It is a structured query language. By this, we'll be able to talk to our database to get required information. So, explanation: the term SQL means structured query language, which is one of the most widely used programming language for relational databases. It can also be used for managing or organizing data in all sort of systems in which different data relations exist. Therefore, the right answer is C. So, SQL is nothing but structured query language. It is not standard query language, nor the sequential query language, or the server-side query language. In the DBMS, when you say SQL means it is structured query language. It is structured query language. I think last slide we have seen SQL. The term data independence refers to the term data independence refers to the data which is refers to data is defined separately and not included in the program. Right? Programs are not dependent on the logical attribute of data. Wrong. Programs are not dependent on the physical attribute of the system. It is both B and C. Both. The answer is B. So data independence means programs are not dependent on the logical attributes of the data, and also programs are not dependent on the physical attribute of data. Data independent means that is your programs, what programs you write they are not dependent on the logical or the physical attributes of the thing. So answer is D. Now what is the relational calculus? What is the relational calculus? It is type of a procedure language. It is a non-procedural language. It is a high-level language. It is data definition language. It cannot be data definition language. It is not a programming language. It is a non-procedural language. It is a non-procedural language. So in the database management system, the relational calculus is a type of non-procedural query language that describes that what data needs to be retrieved. It doesn't explain how to retrieve the data. It doesn't tell you how to retrieve the data. It is only tell you what data need to be retrieved. That is the relational calculus. 43rd question. Which one of the following refers to the total view of the database database content? Which of the following refers to the total view of the database content? Is it the conceptual view, a physical view, or an internal view, or external view? The right answer is conceptual view refers to a total view of the content available in the database. Okay, the conceptual view means total view of the content available in the database. So the right answer is A. It is not physical view, it is not internal view, or not external view. For this question, please. For what purpose the DML is provided? For what purpose the DML is provided? Addition of new structure. We know DML means data manipulation language. Insert, update, and delete. So it is not adding a new structure. Manipulation of processing the data. Definition of physical structure that is no. So all of those. So first is not true. Second is correct. Third is not true. Fourth also not true. So Data manipulation language is manipulation of the processing of the data is the DML. So the answer is D. The term DML refers to the data manipulation language, which is commonly used to perform basic operations like insert data, delete data, and update data in a database. So the right answer is B. The right answer is B. 45th question. The term ODBC. So what is a ODBC? It is a connectivity between database and a program. So in order to talk to a database, we need like your Java, Python, or C. If you need to talk to database, you must have some connectivity between these two. So ODBC is an open database connectivity. It is SQL based programming interface provided by Microsoft. This was a Microsoft interface. This is used from any program to talk to the database. Like you have a SQL server and a SQL server management studio. Here you don't require any interface. But when you're working from the Java, you want to get the data from a table. Now to talk to the database, you need to have interface. That interface, that drivers will be provided in the open ODBC drivers. Okay, ODBC drivers. Yes, the structure of the database can be viewed as 1 level, 2 level, 3 level, 4 level. So database structure, architecture of a database can be viewed as 3 level, because a database structure can be divided as 3 level. 3 levels of abstraction are named the internal level, external level, and the conceptual level. Therefore, the right answer is C. The database architecture from 3 levels of abstraction are the internal level, external level, and the conceptual level. So the right answer is C. The right answer is C. In the relational model, the relations are generally termed as tuple. We know it is each and every row. Attributes is a columns. Rows is also a tuple. So answer is D, table. So answer is D. Means in a relational model, the relations are referred to the tables because of the relations are considered as the technical names of the table. So in a relational model, the relations are considered to be tables, and because because only tables can participate in the relations. Tables will have columns and rows, and two tables can participate in relation only when they have the relation. So the right answer is D. Right answer is D. Next question. The database management query language is generally designed for the database management query language. Supports end users who use English-like commands, specifying the structure of the database. Support the development of complex application software. All of the above is D. So right answer is D. It is structure query language. That's a query language. Supports end users who in English. Select is the English command. Insert update all English commands. Also specifying the structure of the database. Also supports the development of complex software. So right answer is D. The database management query language is generally designed with keeping in mind that it must support the end users who are familiar with English-like commands. It should also boast the process of development of complex application software and also helps in specifying the structure of the database. So which one of the following is generally referred to the relation between two tables: a primary key, a foreign key, a secondary key, none of the above. So how two tables can be joined? By using primary key, foreign key. So a main table, main master table or main table will have primary key, and using that key will be referred to in the child table as a foreign key. So the right answer is B. So to represent the function, to represent the relation between the various tables in the database, generally the foreign key is used. The foreign key relation is nothing but making relation between two tables if they are interconnected or interrelated. Next, which of the following is considered to be a level close to the end user? Which of these levels is considered? We know that the conceptual level is seeing at the higher level, and we know that the three levels of abstraction are internal level, external level, and the physical level. Now, which is the level closest to the end user? The level closest to end user is the external level is only and only level one and only level that is considered to the closest to the end users. That is the external level. External level is the only one and only level which is closest to the end user. Next, we have last 4 questions. We have 4 more questions to attempt. A computer system protocol for logging in can be considered an example of dash components of information system. Computer security protocol for logging in can be considered as an example of the components of the information system. Is it a data? Is it a software? Or it is a procedure? Or is it hardware? Is it a data? No, it is not a data. It is not also a software. It is a procedure. What is a procedure? A computer security protocol for logging in can be considered as a procedure component of information system. See, hardware cannot be thing, software cannot be thing. That means you want to log something. That means there should be some procedure. There should be some procedure by which it can be logged. So the answer is C. That is a procedure example of the procedure component of information system. Next, 50th question. Which one of the following keyword is used to find the number of values in a column? Number of values in a column is a total. Total, count, sum or add. Okay, what is total? Total is, in English it is means total means count. Then we also have count function in SQL circular. Sum is to add 2 numbers, 2 or more numbers. Again, add is also to add one or more numbers. Okay, the right answer is that count. Count is the keyword to find the total number of values in a column. So whenever a user wants to find total number of columns, we use the count. So we say select count star from table. Count star from table. So when you replace this table with the table name, actual table name, for example, student. So how many rows in that table will be displayed as an integer? If you don't say star, you can also mention here the column name. I can say student name. Okay. Now all the students' name total count will be given to you. Okay. Now this is the count function in SQL. Now last two questions. Which one of the following is commonly used to define the overall design of the database? Is it application program, or is it data definition language, or the schema, or the source code? So right answer it is C. It is schema is nothing but the overall design of the database. Generally schema is the overall design. So a schema means, like in the database you have a schema like DBO. In that schema DBO, in that you have many tables here. you have tables in that schema. So when you refer to the schema, all the tables in that schema will be coming here. So schema is a group of tables and other users, etc. All these things. Now, last question: which one of the following command is used to modify a column in a database table? You want to modify a column, then you have to use the alter. You have to use alter. So drop will drop the table. Update will update the value. Update will update. Set is to assign a value. Set is to assign a value to variable. But the right answer is alter. Alter is used to change the structure of the database. Again, in the alter we have many three types here. One is altering by adding a new column. Alter by adding a new column. Second thing is to remove a new column. To remove existing column. And last we have option to change the structure of the column. It means, suppose it is varchar of 25. If you want to make it a varchar of 50, then we can use the alter command. With this, I complete the DBMS MCQs session 2.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.